Imagine living your life to its fullest potential. What would that look like? What would you be doing? I'm talking about a life full of passion, purpose, and fulfillment, where you wake up every single day doing what you love. And not only that, you're getting paid for it. A life on your terms. You choose your hours. You control your income. You create your lifestyle. Every day you wake up knowing you are getting the absolute best out of yourself. And most importantly, you are contributing to the world in a meaningful way. How would that make you feel? Let me show you how I went from a job where I felt like I was dying inside to creating a life where I am deeply passionate and engaged about what I do every single day.
Hi, my name is Brian Rose. I'm the founder and host of London Real.
In 2011, I did my first interview in a tiny studio with just a webcam and a couple of mics. Fast forward to today. I have broadcast conversations from billionaire CEOs and best-selling authors to YouTube stars and members of parliament that have reached over 50 million people. And in the process, I've built a 7-figure media company.
In this 3-part video series, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to get started. Whether you want to be a solopreneur, create a lifestyle business, or reach 7 figures, this video will start you on your journey. Let me show you what a typical day looks like for me.
8 a.m., I wake up and play with my son, Caden. He's pretty cool. 9 a.m., I arrive at the studio, brew some tea, and check out how much revenue we made last night from YouTube, the Academy, and our accelerators. 9:30, I read a few blogs and continue to work on an inspirational ending for a new London Real movie. 11:30, I check some email, reply to some London Real fans, and answer a few comments on our latest YouTube episode. 1 p.m., I go to the gym, do some breakdancing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or whatever is on the schedule for that day. 3 p.m., I interview someone for the show. This could be an astronaut, stand-up comedian, or a world championship boxer. 7 p.m., I open up an international call as part of one of my online courses. Here, I empower students to build a better version of themselves. 8:30, I eat dinner at home and spend some quality time with Mariana and the kids. 10:30, I listen to one of my favorite podcasts. 11:30, I meditate. And at midnight, I go to bed.
This is me. I created a life on my own terms and built a profitable media company while doing it. Nobody tells me what to do. I create the content I want. I make and sell the products I believe in. I meet the people that interest me. Simply put, I do what I love.
Those are the benefits of having your own business. Not only that, you enjoy the freedom of being financially independent. You make your own rules, and you wake up whenever you want. In order to get there, you need 2 things. You need to know what you're passionate about, and you need a business that makes money. But you don't need a genius business idea to get started, and I'll show you why in this video. First, let's talk about passion. Do you know what yours is? Did you go to sleep at night excited about what's coming the next day? In 4 simple words, do you feel alive? If you aren't sure about what you're passionate about, don't worry. It's actually very common. I didn't either for a long time. I worked in the banking industry for years, and for the longest time, I believed chasing money would fulfill me. But I wasn't passionate about what I was actually doing. I was chasing a dream result, and that's a recipe for a stressful life. Because if I wasn't closing deals, I felt empty inside. And as a result, I became a slave to money. So when I decided to finally turn my life around, I stumbled upon a way to find out what really mattered to me. The answer was so simple, and it was right in my pocket. I started talking to my phone. I found out that when I talked into the camera, I could clarify to myself what I was thinking and feeling, especially when I talked about my passions. So let's go through this simple process. Do me a favor and pause this video to download the free workbook. That way, you can get the most out of this series. First, let's brainstorm on what you're good at and what you love doing. So first, I'm gonna draw a circle that I call passion. And in your workbook, I want you to write down everything that you're passionate about. What do you love doing? What do you love talking about? What do you love watching? Anything that really gets your juices flowing. And for me, off the top of my head, I love things like MMA. I love amazing conversations. I love to learn. I love science. Just write down any of this stuff in your passion circle. And again, very important not to limit yourself, just come up with any ideas you have. Once you're done with that, I want you to think about talent. And this is what I call the talent circle. So I want you to write down everything that you have a talent for. And if you're getting stuck here, you can go ahead and ask 5 friends of yours, send them a text or send them a Facebook message and just say, hey, what am I good at? And for me, as a kid, I was always good with numbers. I was always good at making video. That's a very strange thing, actually. I look back the other day, and when I was 10 years old, I used to make these crazy videos of like old ninja movies, and I used to actually interview my grandmother and grandpa. So those were probably the very first London Real episodes. And yet, I kind of pushed that all down inside of me and went to get an engineering degree and a proper job on Wall Street. And for a little while, I forgot where my passion really lied. So this is a super important exercise for you to do. And go ahead and write down all the different things. Anything from the top of your head. It might be that you're good at cooking. It might be that you're good at listening to other people's problems. Again, really try to go deep here, because the more ideas you can come up in any circle, the easier it's gonna be to find something you're passionate about that we can then transfer into a business. And so what happens here is you get an intersection. You're gonna start to find that certain things are crossing over where you're passionate about them and other people say that you're actually good at them. And what I call this is your opportunities. Now this really is an amazing chance for you to explore where these intersect. Because let's be honest, you're gonna love doing something that goes in this circle, and most likely some other people are gonna like it as well. And so I want you to take what is in there, and I want you to go ahead and go to your pocket. And this is where I pull out this most amazing device that can really change your life, and it's your phone. And I want you to turn on record and point it at yourself, and I want you to talk about something that intersects these two circles for the next 2 minutes. Don't overthink it. Don't go crazy. Just say, hey, my name's Brian. I love making videos because I love talking to a camera and knowing that what I say to you might change people's minds all around the world. It might inspire them to start their own show or to do a new movement practice or to maybe create a business. If this video sounded good to you, or if you have any recommendations or suggestions, hit me in the comments below and I'm gonna publish another one tomorrow. Bam. You can upload that video, and that's the next thing I need you to do. I need you to upload this video to one of your social media channels, ideally all of them. Go Facebook, Instagram, that works great if it's under a minute, which is no problem, and of course YouTube, our favorite here. And I don't want you to do just one. I need you to do 10 vlogs, and if you want to take my challenge, you're gonna do 10 vlogs in 10 days. And this is something that I've had hundreds of people do over the past few years, and it is a complete game changer. In fact, I would say if you go ahead and complete this task, you will be more than halfway towards starting your own business. So that's my 10 vlog in 10-day challenge. And you're gonna post these all the way out to these different social media platforms. And again, I want you to just come up with new ideas and just speak into that phone and don't overthink it and don't plan it and don't outline it. Just flow from your entire being on the topics that really intersect between your passion and your talent. And by doing this, we're gonna get feedback. We're gonna get feedback from what I call the market. And that's our last circle here, is the market circle. And the market will tell you if your ideas resonate with them. And at the same time, when you publish this, you're actually gonna find out if you enjoy talking about that. And so maybe you had an idea that I love cooking and people say I'm good at, but when you talk about it, maybe you're like, actually I'm gonna try something else. So it's a great way to test it out on you and to test it out on other people. And what you're gonna find is that certain of these ideas, not all of them, but a certain number are actually gonna resonate with the market. And I call this your golden triangle. And this is your market opportunity. Everything that happens in there is what we're gonna use to build your business. And I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna do that next. Based on the concepts inside the golden triangle, I now want you to come up with at least 5 business ideas around the content that's been resonating throughout your Facebook and YouTube posts. And this is super important right now. Come up with at least 5 ideas and write those down in your workbook and really start brainstorming about what might work. And then I want you to go and check with your mom. But it's not what you might think I'm talking about. Around here, mom stands for your market opportunity map. And this is very important because these 4 quadrants are going to determine if this can become a real and profitable business. So watch carefully. On this axis, we have at the top, online. And on the bottom, offline. And here, we have your network. And here we have the market. Now you've done your 10 vlogs in 10 days, you've gotten a lot of feedback, you've come up with some ideas that you like, and you've come up with some other ideas that you don't like that you've probably discarded, and you've now come up with 5 ideas that you think you can use that content and turn it into a business. And so you've already explored online in your own network, because that would have been your Facebook friends, your Instagram, your YouTube, etc. And you've found that there is some resonation here. Now the next thing you can do is take those 5 business ideas and write them to the people that have liked those Facebook comments, the people that have shared those videos, and just say, hey, what do you think of this business idea? Is this a product you would be interested in? Would that change your life? And so that's your first quadrant of exploration. And this is very simple to do because you know all of those followers and they're really one message away. So go ahead there and start asking them questions into this whole network here in the online space. You're gonna get feedback from that, and that's a great start. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to reach out inside your network, but I want you to do it in an offline capacity. And these are people in your network that are experts in the field you've chosen. They could be entrepreneurs. And so say you wanted to get into the fitness business somehow. This could be someone who runs a personal training business. This could be a local gym owner. This could be someone in your network who has a movement practice. And I want you to go meet with them and start bouncing these ideas off of them and say, hey, do you think this would work? Have you ever run a business like this? Do you know if people would pay for this product? And you're gonna get some very invaluable feedback that sometimes you just can't get online. This is a crucial second step here. Go offline to those experts in your network. Next step, equally as important, is I want you to go online, but now I want you to go to the entire market because you're gonna be selling your ideas to the entire world. And I wanna find out, is there anybody else selling ideas similar to you? And is there anyone buying those? So from here, if it's a physical product, you can go on eBay, you can go to Amazon. If it's a digital product, you can go to ClickBank, or you can just Google it and see if there's anyone selling this on websites or in any other capacity. This is gonna give you a great idea whether people want to buy your products or if people are transacting in similar things that you're talking about it. Very, very important. And the final crucial step is going offline, but checking the market. And this is gonna happen at events and seminars where people gather in your field. So if you're in personal training or some type of movement, this is where all of those types of people gather. I want you to go to those events and talk to anyone you can there and bounce off these ideas and see what they say. They might have some suggestions. It might cause you to kind of pivot and change that idea, but this is going to give you an incredible amount of feedback. And these 4 quadrants are going to tell you which one of your 5 business ideas is resonating the most with people. Where do you get feedback where people are saying, yeah, that sounds really good, I might want to buy that, or no, somebody else is doing that much better, etc., etc. And I want you to really think about 3 final determining actions. First of all, is there someone out there that wants to buy your product? Have people expressed interest? Is there any kind of a history online of people buying similar products? Very important. I don't want you to go somewhere where no one has ever done what you're about to do, because most likely it's a recipe for failure and you're gonna waste a lot of time. Second of all, I want you to determine if anyone is selling your product or something similar to your product. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused and they say, oh no, there's a competitor. That means that'll never work. I personally love competition. It shows me that people are buying the same kind of ideas that I want to sell. And since I know, like most likely you know, that you can do it even better, or you can do it with a twist, or you can do it with a different spin, competition shows you that there is a real business that you've got in your head from the feedback from all of your peers. And finally, I want you to think about this number, and this is very important, 1,000. Now there's a concept called your 1,000 true fans. And the idea is that you can find 1,000 people from around the world in the 7 billion people that exist on this planet that want to buy your products, that want to buy into your passion and how you want to make the world a better place. That is enough to start a business, because most likely these passionate people will spend $50 or $100 a year with you, and that gives you the income you need to start building your business. And to get a little bit more on this concept, I'm going to play for you a short clip of a video from a gentleman named Kevin Kelly, who was one of the founders of Wired Magazine, and he was here in this studio talking to me about the concept of your 1,000 true fans.
And for people that haven't read the article, if you had to summarize it in 3 quick points, what would you say is the 1,000 true fans? And then also, do you have anything to add to it in the last 5 years?
So the basic thing is a very simple premise, which is that technology allows us to have someone who's a creator, and that could be a writer, a filmmaker, musician, a sculptor, photographer, anybody who's creating something. The technology allows us to actually interact with our customers directly. In the past, you needed, you'd sell a book, and there'd be a publisher and a bookseller, and someone would buy your book, but you'd have no connection as the author with that person. But now you can sell a book, even if you don't sell them directly. They can have an email. They can contact you on an ongoing basis. And so the premise is simply that if you have that kind of ability to connect with your audience directly, and you don't have all these other people involved with publishers and music studios and everybody, if you're actually creating and dealing directly with them, that the numbers that you need to actually get a living are very small. And I call those people that are going to be most valuable to you true fans, because the true fans are fans that will purchase anything that you produce in all the varieties, all the different editions, all the different venues, whatever it is, anything you do, they're going to support you in it. If you don't need very many of those kinds of people, and by my calculation, for a single creator, you need about 1,000. If you can produce $100 worth of goods a year, then 100 times 1,000 is $100,000. That's a living, okay? And so that's the basic idea. Now, you have to adjust that by lots of different things, because you have expenses you have to subtract. If you have more than one person as a duo, you have to multiply by 2. And the important thing, though, is that number is actually not critical. It's the order of magnitude. It says you don't need 1 million fans to make a living if you have direct contact with them. You don't need even 100,000. You need it in the thousands.
Let me give you a real-life example of someone I worked with to help find her 1,000 true fans. This is Dr. Carla Stanton. She decided after a decade of treating more than 70,000 patients to step out of the conventional healthcare industry and start a business using a more holistic approach to medicine. Her initial idea wasn't bad, but it was far too broad. What particular market was she serving? Who were her 1,000 true fans? What does holistic mean anyway? I took her through our step-by-step process until she finally niched down and created the Dr. Stanton Eczema Treatment Method, through which she was able to find not just a few, but a pool of excited customers. Today, Carla has her own business where she treats patients on her own terms while enjoying financial success at the same time. By the way, these things took me years to figure out. Back then, I lived a very different life. I was chasing money, weekends, and stuff. But at the age of 40, I turned my life around. It's never too late to make a change. The fact that you are still watching this shows me you believe there is more to life than what you're experiencing right now. So what is the first step? It all starts with a decision. One that I procrastinated over for so long that it took me into the darkest era of my life, until I had my own Fight Club moment. I always wanted to be where the action was. Growing up with modest beginnings in San Diego, I went to the one place that matched my ambitions: Wall Street, New York City. I wanted what most of us want. My first day was like a scene straight from The Wolf of Wall Street. I have 100 people waiting outside for your job, so you better pick up that phone and start dialing.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich. All you have to do today is pick up that phone.
I didn't realize what kind of environment I was entering, but I wanted to prove myself so bad that I just ignored the obvious and rolled with the punches. Guys would pass me in the hallway and bump their shoulders into mine. My manager would give me backhanded remarks. Colleagues would try to steal my Christmas bonus. If you didn't schmooze enough with the bosses, you would work 12-hour days at a 1-meter-wide desk for the whole year and get nothing. Or as they say in the industry, you'd get a donut. Every day I'd wake up and be told to extract as much value from the world as possible. From my clients, my business relationships, and even my colleagues. Nobody questioned this kind of behavior because everybody was doing it. It was considered good sport. How many times do we feel obligated to say yes to something our boss asks when we secretly want to tell him to shove it? We have all had this experience, but we don't do anything because we want to cling on to our jobs. Slowly but surely, I was turning into a stereotypical greedy banker. But I wanted success no matter what, so I just suppressed my emotions. I don't remember the exact turning point, but I do recall one night having dinner with a group of bankers where a guy actually complained that his private jet couldn't make it from New York to LA in one flight and had to land midway to refuel. That was when I knew I had to make some changes in my life. When I went back to work, I started asking myself, what kind of value was I providing to the world? My industry and job seemed pointless. I didn't feel any passion for what I was doing, and I didn't know why. I was getting promoted, my clients respected me, and I was making good money, yet I felt like I was dying inside. I was embarrassed about my unhappiness because to the outside world, this was considered the good life. I didn't talk about it. All my energy went into protecting this image that I was more in control than I felt. Until one day I mentioned to a friend that I didn't really feel happy. To which he responded, "Brian, you haven't been happy for 2 years." The writing was on the wall. He recommended that I take up meditation, which opened my mind to questions I'd buried for years. Is this the life I really want? Why don't I feel passionate? Am I even good enough to do something else? I realized that I felt good about hitting a goal, but I didn't want to wake up and do it all over again. I was chasing small moments of feeling good. I believed having a passionate life was about repeating these moments, yet I never felt fulfilled. I had confused profit for passion. That aha moment made me dream about a different life. Deep inside, I wanted to quit, but was I ready to walk away from it all? It would mean giving up 10 years of career building, losing all of my relationships, and stepping away from financially setting myself up for the rest of my life. It just seemed like an absurd decision. But I felt something was wrong inside. I felt a calling for something more meaningful, and all I could think of was starting this new journey. That feeling led me to one of the toughest decisions in my life. I decided to give my letter of resignation. Have you ever fantasized about stepping into your boss's office yelling, "I quit," while throwing his desk in the air? We all have at some point. That might not be the best solution, though. While this is more or less what I did, there is a tendency to romanticize these scenarios. We believe these stories end with, "and they all lived happily ever after." But actually, the worst was yet to come for me. I learned that you can't just go cold turkey and venture out into the world hoping for the best. You need an idea, a plan, and a series of steps in order to get what you want. In essence, a roadmap. In the second video, I'm going to show you how I went from quitting my job to starting London Real and transforming it into a 7-figure business. I'm going to show you what strategies I used to go from 0 followers to 100,000, how I sold hundreds of customers in a couple of days using the product success path, and how you can create a winning digital product yourself. On a final note, if you are thinking about starting your own business and you haven't filled out the workbook, I'd say do that now. This will get you started on your journey. I'll see you in part 2.